This is a podcast all about Bears. You either cheering for this team or just pulling your hair. I like to take a minute, just sit right back and tell you how I became the #1 Bears fan.
That boy is Benny Hunter.
Cake on the mic, cake on the mic, cake on the mic, cake on the mic. People, this the intro. Sacramento, California, born and raised. And Antelope is where I spend most of my days. Talk bad about my team, you must be a clown. This is Keek on the mic, so you know you better bear down. Bear down.
Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Like always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. First of all, Bears fans, I just want to wish you guys all a very happy Thanksgiving. I hope you guys enjoy all the food and time with your family on this lovely Thanksgiving. And obviously, it's always a good thing when the Chicago Bears don't play on Thanksgiving against the Detroit Lions. I was getting really tired of that Thanksgiving game with the Detroit Lions. Once again, I hope you guys have a really good Thanksgiving. Really fun topic here on the podcast on this lovely Thanksgiving. As a report out of Chicago is this: Trent Dilfer shoots down Justin Fields' myth. Obviously, Trent Dilfer goes on 6-7 to score after every single Chicago Bears game and basically evaluates Justin Fields. Obviously, I've come on here before and talked about Trent Dilfer's analysis on Justin Fields. I absolutely what he brings and what he offers in terms of what he thinks about Justin Fields. Obviously, I love his opinion. He's a former Pro Bowl / Super Bowl champion at quarterback in the NFL. So obviously, these are the type of people we want analyzing Justin Fields, not people like, LaShawn McCoy. So I definitely love what Trent Dilfer has to say in terms of what he thinks about Justin Fields' development. But obviously, there's a huge myth going on around the league about Justin Fields amongst Bears fans. And obviously, some Chicago Bears fans are frustrated with Justin Fields. While most Bears fans love the production on the ground, there are a lot of Bears fans and people from the outside national media looking in that are frustrated with the passing production from Justin Fields. And obviously, they are thinking this is a quarterback-driven league, and obviously, the best ones win games with their arms. Obviously, Justin Fields has been outstanding, but their thought process is he needs to start trying to win games with his arms. They want to see 300-plus pass yards, right? And obviously, I'm not really in agreement with that, obviously. Obviously, I love what Justin Fields is doing. I think is his game. Obviously, I would love to see more passes from Justin Fields, but I just think it's a new day and age in the NFL. It's not all about throwing 300-plus yards to win games. And obviously, when you look at Justin Fields, right, when you look at the total yards, it's absolutely incredible what he's able to do. He usually has 300-plus total yards a game. He usually has 2+ total touchdowns a game. So what else do you guys actually want from Justin Fields? But obviously, just when you look at Justin Fields, he does have the lowest number of pass attempts in the NFL this year. And most Justin Fields haters will say the reasoning for this is Fields has a lack of pocket presence, right? His tendency to hold on to the ball too long and his run-first mentality. And if you think this is the reason why Justin Fields' pass attempts are low, if you think Justin Fields is the problem, you are very, very incorrect. And this is where I bring in Trent Dilfer. Trent Dilfer obviously watched the recent loss to the Atlanta Falcons, and his assessment on Fields on 6-7 to score was the complete opposite from what the public narrative is on Justin Fields in terms of why the Chicago Bears or Justin Fields has the lowest number of pass attempts in the NFL this year. Dilfer didn't see a skittish young quarterback on Sunday in the loss to the Atlanta Falcons, especially in the pocket, and he wasn't holding on to the ball too long. He saw the exact opposite. He thought Justin Fields looked calm in the pocket with good feet and routinely tried to work through his progressions before choosing the run. This is a good point for the people that are thinking that it's Justin Fields. He said the problem was his offensive line rarely gave him the opportunities to complete those number of passes. So this is exactly what Trent Dilfer had to say about Justin Fields on 6-7 to score. Check this out, Bears fans.
Again, we don't disagree on much. I would disagree with you on the skittish feet. I thought he looked like he was trying really hard to work his progressions. He just didn't have an opportunity sometimes.
Now, it's definitely true some of the times, for sure. That offensive line had a rough day. Michael Schofield, the right guard, had a really rough day. It sure seemed like Were there any pocket plays where you thought Justin could have been quicker on the trigger? If there's anything we look at in terms of the buckets and the pocket passer buckets, that's the one that comes up a lot, him holding the ball longer than perhaps he should. Did you see that yesterday?
I didn't, and I looked for it, and I also on two of the sacks, like I mentioned, they actually gave replays where I could see receivers and the route combinations and see if he had like anticipatory throws.
First play of the second half, was that one of them? They did give you that one from behind where you did see the
where it commits to the right, I believe, and there's kind of running everybody's stopping and he's kind of running down the middle of the field. Yeah, that was one of them. No, I mean he looked great in the pocket. It looked like he was trying to be a passer. Now, again, you're talking about such a small sample size. It's going to be really hard to evaluate him as a true passer with 21 passing attempts. I said it last week. I think we got this thing in the low to mid 30s to really have an opportunity to know how his quarterback pocket presence, vision, all these things are developing. They look like they're developing on the handful of plays that we saw. And everybody's going to say he missed a touchdown throw. I get it. I will say this about the miss. He threw it high. He threw it early. When guys throw them high and early, they tend to be more touchdowns than misses. Every quarterback's going to miss a deep ball. It happens. It's tragic when the guy seems to be wide open, but it happens. I mean, it's a ball that's in the air for 50-something yards in the air. It's pretty hard to hit them all. So I like the fact that my quarterback doesn't miss often. He missed one in the game the other night, a little long, and I filmed today with him, and I said, listen, I can live with long misses. Long misses turn into touchdowns. Short, indecisive misses turn into interceptions and all that. But long misses tend to be good misses in the long haul. So it was a negative play. It was a minus, but it's not end of the world stuff.
And Bears fans, like I mentioned earlier in the podcast, I absolutely love Trent Dilfer's analysis on Justin Fields. Obviously, this is a former Pro Bowl / Super Bowl champion that obviously knows what he's talking about. Obviously, when you look at people like LaShawn McCoy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He was a running back in the NFL. He didn't play one snap at quarterback. He doesn't know what Justin Fields is going through. He doesn't know what he has to deal with in terms of offensive line pass protection, and that's a big thing. And Bears fans, when you look at Trent Dilfer's analysis, especially in the little clip that I showed you, he is absolutely right. Justin Fields, to me, cannot mature as a passer until he gets the proper help. Obviously, this is something that we've talked about on the podcast multiple times, on multiple occasions, that Justin Fields cannot do it by himself. Especially when LaShawn McCoy, for example, said, you know what, I need to see more wins from Justin Fields. Well, LaShawn McCoy, once again, right? Winning is not a Justin Fields stat. It's a team stat. Justin Fields can't do it all by himself. Once again, for example, against a team like, I believe it was the Miami Dolphins, Justin Fields had 300 total yards for 4 total touchdowns. What else do you want Justin Fields to do in that situation? And what makes that situation, that game so incredible is that Justin Fields is doing it by himself. Of course, you can give a little credit to Cole Kmet for coming onto the scene. Darnell Mooney's coming into his own right. But when you look at the offensive line, you still have Sam Mustipher at center, right? The last couple of weeks, we've been without Tevin Jenkins, and Schofield has not looked good, especially in the Atlanta Falcons game. Schofield did not look good. So Justin Fields, when you look at the offensive line, it's incredible what Justin Fields is doing. And now this brings me to my point of today's podcast, right? When people said that Fields has a lack of pocket presence, Fields has a run-first mentality, right? Fields has the tendency to hold on to the ball too long. But once again, Justin Fields can't mature as a passer until he gets the proper help. And we all know this already, right? But like Dilfer said in that little clip, O-line is a huge issue. He said it's one of the worst he's seen when it comes to straight pass protection. And we all know this already, Bears fans. We know that the offensive line needs help. We know that Ryan Poles has a lot of work to do in terms of the Bears offensive line this offseason. And Bears fans, to put this in more perspective for you guys in terms of how bad the Bears offensive line has been this season, the Bears are ranked 32nd in pressure percentage based on just true pass sets. That means whenever the Bears actually call just straight drop back passes without rolling out field, just leave them in the pocket, it doesn't work at all. because that's how bad the Chicago Bears offensive line has been this season in terms of pass protection. They're great in run blocking, but when we call just a straight drop back pass, it doesn't work. This is why Luke Getsy, and I know there's been a lot of smack talk and a lot of criticism on Luke Getsy just calling a lot of design runs. Obviously, it did get Justin Fields hurt last week, but at that moment, that's the only thing we can call is rollouts or design runs, because the offensive line and their inability to actually block when Justin Fields just drops back as a passer and stays in the pocket, it just doesn't work. And obviously, this is why Luke Getsy likes to lean on the run, because this keeps pass rushers basically off balance, and this allows the Bears to use play action more often, and that's really the only option Luke Getsy has for Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears offense. So for the people that are upset about Justin Fields' passing production, please just stop it. And I always like to say, obviously we're just fans, but I always like to say, you go back there and be Justin Fields. You be in Justin Fields' situation and then come back to me and tell me how you do behind that Chicago Bears offensive line. And once again, that brings me back to my point. What Justin Fields has been able to do with basically nothing is absolutely incredible. So if you think Justin Fields is the problem for the low amount of passing attempts, just stop it. Take a step back and really understand what Justin Fields has to deal with in terms of just looking at the Chicago Bears offensive line. We literally cannot keep Justin Fields in the pocket because of this offensive line. And Bears fans, let's be honest with ourselves. I guarantee you, Luke Getsy wants Justin Fields to throw it 30 to 35 times. Justin Fields is not a run-first quarterback. Justin Fields is a ultra-athletic quarterback with a huge arm. You saw it at Ohio State. Justin Fields doesn't want to run first. He wants to launch that ball downfield to Darnell Mooney. He wants to launch that ball downfield to Cole Kmet. And most importantly, he wants to launch that ball downfield to his new weapon, Chase Claypool. I know there's been a lot of talk about getting Chase Claypool more involved. The Bears can't get Chase Claypool involved until the offensive line is better. If we want to see more production in Justin Fields passing, Ryan Poles knows what he has to do. We have to build up this offensive line. And I know I may be contradicting right now because I know I said, the number one need is defensive line. And for me, that's a toss-up, D-line and O-line, but I may have to change my answer. Offensive line may be the biggest need for the Chicago Bears, because until they figure out that offensive line, it's going to be the same stuff. We won't be able to see Justin Fields increase his number of pass attempts, right? Because we cannot just call straight drop back passes. We have to roll Justin Fields out. We have to call design runs in order to help guys like Sam Mustipher, in order to help guys like Michael Schofield, right? So Ryan Poles knows what he needs to do. And once Ryan Poles builds this offensive line, and I promise you, Bears fans, when I say this, people will begin to see that Justin Fields isn't a run-first quarterback. He is a quarterback that is ultra-athletic with a huge arm. And I am super excited for that day to come. So people that are hating on Justin Fields, people that are blaming Justin Fields about the low number of pass attempts, they'll understand that it was never Justin Fields' fault. It was the fact that the offensive line, the Chicago Bears offensive line, and their inability to block for him, especially in true drop-back passing sets, it was them. It was never Justin Fields. So please stop it. Please leave the young man alone. We all know that Justin Fields is the guy. It's not him. Just give it time. Let Ryan Poles build up this offensive line, and I promise you, Justin Fields, you'll see how amazing of a passer Justin Fields is. Before I let you guys go, let me ask you guys this question. How do you guys feel about Trent Dilfer's analysis on Justin Fields after the loss to the Atlanta Falcons? Let me know down below in the comment section. Before I let you guys go, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. Make sure you share this episode of Kick on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, we'll be back for an all-new Bears podcast right here on Kick on the Mic. Thanks, guys. Happy Thanksgiving, and bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic.